back to my humble channel, or nice to meet you if this is the first time. I'm Sage. Come get comfy. We're gonna have a chat today while I'm doing various household things that I have been procrastinating doing for way too long. So lovely Mona gave me a couple questions that she wanted me to talk about, and I'm only going to cover one of them because even though they're kind of related, the second one I feel like could be its own video. But those questions were: how to trust your life path when it's not really what people around you see you doing, and also how to not care what other people think. Okay, that's the first question. And then the second question was ways on how to validate yourself so you don't only need validation from others, especially male validation. And it's the especially male validation that makes me want to just let it be its own topic. So we're only going to cover the first one. I really want to dissect this question in parts. And so the first part I want to cover is the trusting your life path. And what I have learned is that we really need to ditch this whole life path, life purpose stuff, because we evolve and change so much. And I feel like when you say life path, life purpose, it makes you like have to put this concrete thing on yourself. And I think it's the same thing that I feel is wrong with us picking our college major at the ripe old age of 17 or 18. We're barely adults, and now all of a sudden we have to pick what we want to do for the rest of our life. And the problem with that is literally our bodies replace themselves technically every 7 years. We are not going to want to do the same thing today that maybe we wanted to do 10 years ago, and that's okay. There's nothing that you're meant to do with your whole life except to just exist and explore and be adventurous. So throw out life purpose and life path out of your dictionary, because even though I feel this urge to use my voice to share my experiences and what I've learned, I don't really consider that as part of my life purpose. My life purpose is to experience and enjoy myself and be my favorite version of myself. Not my best self, but my favorite version of myself. But for the sake of addressing your question, let's just keep using the term life path, right? So when you say trusting your life path, even though it's not what people around you want for you, I have a lot of experience in that, because I am very much the kind of person that the minute something is not working for me, I drop it like it's hot. Like, I am so quick to pivot and be like, okay, I've experienced that, I've had enough of that, on to the next thing. And that, I think that has affected my loved ones, because all they really want to do is see me live my best life and to know that I am safe and that I am making good decisions, because they love me. And so me constantly, saying, "Oh, I'm going to open up this business," and then 2 months later they ask me how it's going, I'm like, "Child, I done shifted to something else." And I don't think they like that, because again, they just want to see me flourish, and they have this version of me in their minds that they want to see manifest and actualized, whether I'm that person or not. So the way that I've learned to trust my gut with what I feel pulled to do with my life is to, one, recognize that ain't nobody living in this body but me. I love my parents, I love my siblings, but at the end of the day, I'm the one that has to live with the choices that I make, not them. And two, I kind of use that as like a basis of measurement on how I'm making choices for myself. So I know that the moment I start to think about how other people are going to see this decision that I'm making and how it's influencing it, I know that I am not living in alignment with what I want for my life and my goals and my dreams. And that's an automatic red flag, no. And this also flows into how to not care what other people think about you. You stop caring what other people think about you when you get really good at focusing on how you think about yourself. Everything in this life is really just perspective. The way you look at something can make the world of difference on what's actually happening. And I'll give you an example. I have to walk to my job. It's not very far at all. I literally just have to cross the street and boom, I'm there. But as I was waiting at the light, I was tying my shoes, right? And um, I stand up, and as soon as I stand up, I make eye contact with his driver, and he looks at me, he laughs, and he drives off. My mind was like going to all these different places. But luckily for me, your girl has been working on the way that she talks to herself and her perspective of things. So I nipped that right in the bud, and I was like, that laugh could have had nothing to do with me. I'm over here having an anxiety attack because I think someone was laughing at me, when in reality he could have had a earpiece on the other side of his head that I can't even see, and he was talking to somebody on the phone. You see how everything is just perspective? The way you stop caring about, matter of fact, let's reformat that question because of perspective. You're not choosing not to care about how other people think about you. You shift your thoughts into thinking that everyone thinks the best goddamn things about you. So you don't walk into a room and you say, oh, I don't care what any of these people think of me, I know I look good. You say to yourself, everybody in this room thinks I'm the best thing since ice cream. Yes, they see me radiating. Yes, they see me flourishing. They love me. Why am I so magnetic? Why am I all of that and more? You catch my drift? At least that has been my experience, because I am very much I used to be. I used to be a people pleaser, and even sometimes now I have thoughts of like, oh my gosh, what do people think about me? Um, how am I being perceived? I hope they don't think I'm a bitch, stuff like that. But the minute that I started being like, why would they think I'm a bitch? Why would anybody think that I'm mean? Everybody loves me. Every time I open my mouth, people stop and listen like I just said world breaking news, stuff like that. I'm folding my unmentionables off camera, so I'm still doing work. Are you doing what you need to be doing right now? I hope so. But yeah, for that question, um, trusting your life path. If I could just implant one thing into your brain, is to just let that whole idea of a life path go, because if you're someone who resonates with that term and you've found what you want to do for the rest of your life and you know that's never going to change, I'm clapping for you because you are blessed, and I love that for you. I love that for you so much. But for those of you who are like me, for me and my people, I don't got it like that. I am multi-passionate. One day I wake up and I'm like, I want to do this. And the next day I'm like, wow, I don't even want to be perceived. Don't talk to me. You'll never hear from me again. Um, Holding on to the idea of a life path is a really easy way to set yourself up for disappointment. It's an easy way to set yourself up for feeling shame and guilt, because it's so easy that in the moment when you think you found your thing, you're like, hell yeah, this is what I'm doing. And when you have, and if later down the line that happens to change for you, it can be so disappointing because you're like, damn, I thought I found my thing, and now it's feeling like it ain't that. You can let it go because you've already told yourself that I am an evolving, fluctuating being. Every cell, every atom in my body is constantly in motion. There is nothing that is at rest, that is in a fixed state ever. Everything in the universe vibrates. And so will your ideas, so will your grand plans for yourself, so will your emotions, your thoughts. Everything is constantly in motion, okay? So that's my advice on that. I thought that would take me a lot longer to answer. And I thought I'd have to do all these household items, but maybe I'll save them for the next video. So thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And until next time, friend.